Welcome to movie review number 11. Today's review will be about the 1997 movie Men in Black, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith as agents K and J. They're agents for the Men in Black, an officially non-existent organization that hides and protects alien refugees on Earth. The aliens are housed in New York, and they take on the disguises of human New Yorkians. The movie is really good. It has a lot of funny scenes, like the little aliens getting coffee and stuff like that, and there's some pretty cool combat with a giant crazy alien. The plot generally goes like this. An aggressive insectoid species of alien called bugs exists in the galaxy, and one of them crashes to Earth. It finds and kills 2 alien refugees, one of whom is a member of a royal family among his species, called Archilians. The bug is chasing after a galaxy, which is a small little marble with a galaxy in it. That's apparently a super powerful energy source. It's really valuable, and the bugs want to get it so that they can destroy the Archilians. And the Men in Black want to stop the bug, get the galaxy from it, and give it back to the Archilians before the Archilians blow up the Earth. It's a pretty hardcore premise, but the movie itself manages to be pretty lighthearted and comedic. As the plot unfolds and characters are introduced, the viewer sees a number of exotic alien species, most of which are disguised in some way as humans. The first alien is a really wild-looking amphibious biped with thick, prehensile eye stalks and some kind of dorsal growth that has floppy little appendages coming off of it. I don't know what the appendages are for. They don't look strong enough to lift stuff or to swim, so maybe they're for sexual displays to attract females. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because this alien gets blown apart moments later by Agent K, who's played by Tommy Lee Jones. The cop who would become Agent J, played by Will Smith, is recruited after he manages to chase down some kind of freaky alien that has sideways blinking eyelids. And apparently they have great endurance and can run fast, so it's really impressive that he was able to chase it down. Aliens seem to have remarkable physical abilities like this, but some of these abilities kind of stretch the limits of feasibility. Like the dude in the corner store, or the illegal alien gun store. You find out he's an alien because K is kind of threatening him, telling him to show us the goods, and he pulls out his sci-fi pistol and just blows the guy's head apart. The head suddenly grows back super fast, all wet and gross-like, but the guy survived, and he said, "Damn, I hate it, that stings." Whatever alien species he is, the regenerative capacities are extreme, to the point where I'd say it's metabolically impossible. I mean, think about it. Regrowing the upper vertebra, the skull, the brain, and all the musculature of the face in just a few seconds? How many calories do you think that takes? His head is all sweaty because it's probably really hot from all the cellular growth, or whatever it is that's going on. When K brings Will Smith's character back to the MIB headquarters, he sees a group of little aliens drinking coffee. They seem to be intelligent, but they're comic relief because they don't really take anything seriously. As far as their biology goes, they seem to be totally feasible. They're like biped salamanders with longer, kind of thinner but sturdier limbs. Whatever their biochemistry is, coffee is apparently safe for them to ingest, and they actually seem to enjoy it quite a lot. Although, it seems to have the opposite effect in them as it does in humans. You know, in humans, coffee picks you up, makes you more awake and alert and focused. And in these guys, it seems to make them kind of more chill and a little more goofy. It's almost like, to them, coffee is like cannabis. To these guys, Earth is like a dope little coffee shop, hidden away in some galactic suburb. So that's kind of a cool way to look at it, cool thing from their perspective. And you notice that when things start to go down, when the plot starts to progress and the antagonist starts to get the upper hand, these little bug guys pack up their shit and they get out of there. They're like, "All right, see you later, dude. Hasta la vista." That's pretty hilarious. And also at the MIB headquarters, they see a ton of other aliens, with the most extreme one of them being this giant phallic column of pale, bubbly flesh, capped with a stubbly head structure and numerous tubules and protrusions through which air gets farted out. Now, I have no idea what kind of intelligence this thing has. It kind of reminds me of a snail, if you're thinking like like a Lophotrochozoan or something like that, then you're also talking about like squids and octopuses, and they're pretty intelligent, so they can be pretty smart. I don't know. I just don't know how intelligent it is or how its body works, or if the movie creators even really thought this hard about it. But either way, it's a really cool looking creature, and I'd be interested to see what its homeworld's biology and ecology look like. After Agent J has become Agent J formally, they go out on their first mission. An alien and his alien wife are trying to leave the state because his wife is pregnant and giving birth. This might seem like a Hallmark, like, oh no moment, until it's revealed that they're actually giant tentacle people somehow living in a convincing human suit. A massive tentacle, like the kind that you would see on a deep-sea kraken, is throwing Jay around and smashing him against the top of the car. And then the little baby alien octopus thing is squirted out onto him, and he looks into its eyes, and there's a moment where he thinks it's kind of cute, and then it pukes on him. So babies seem to do that no matter what planet their species is from. Now, the Archilian aliens themselves are revealed to be very tiny humanoids, kind of like the stereotypical alien gray, but just 8 centimeters tall. Where the alien grays are typically said to have huge black eyes, this Archilian guy has humanoid eyes, and a more humanoid skull. He seems nice enough, but he's in pain, and he's dying. His head is pretty large, and it appears to hold some kind of super dense, super complex brain. I mean, the Archilians are obviously super intelligent, as they're shown to possess extremely advanced technology like realistic human robot suits, and giant spaceships, and galaxies stored in gemstones that provide crazy amounts of energy, that kind of thing. The antagonist alien in the movie is the Bug, which is a huge, slimy monster. It looks like a giant cockroach with a reticulated abdominal section, with big yellow eyes and a mouth lined with fangs the size of your fingers. This alien is so insectoid in morphology and physiology, and it's literally referred to as a bug, so it's hinted that the alien has other bug-like qualities beyond stuff that's just directly stated or explained. It appears to have an exoskeleton, and a soft internal body of loose organs floating around in hemolymph, and when Agent K gets eaten by it, you kind of see him pushing his way around through the internal gut, which is that internal cavity within the hemolymph. It has mandibles tucked away inside its jaws, and you see that when it eats Agent K. And it also has the characteristically cockroach-like ability to take tremendous physical damage to its body, like being blown apart from the inside, and still pull itself around to make another attack. I think this would be equally terrifying and awesome if it was real, but there are a couple details that I have to nitpick. Size is a huge limiting factor for insects, because their open circulatory system relies on diffusion much more than an animal with a closed circulatory system. Although this alien could get around it if it did have some kind of pseudo-closed circulatory system, or if it just did have legitimate veins and heart organs and stuff integrated into an otherwise open biochemistry. And furthermore, the weight of their carapace and the internal organs and all of the body fluids, that's a lot of weight, and it would be too much for the exoskeletal joints to handle. They wouldn't be able to hold themselves up. This is a problem with scale that exists with exoskeletons and the internal musculature structure that's needed to articulate the joints. You can get a bigger exoskeleton, but you'll need a bigger muscle to lift it. And eventually it reaches a point where the muscle necessary to move a certain size of limb is too big to actually be able to fit inside that limb. And so it's like an upper limit on the size of a arthropod-like exoskeletal growth. This is a problem that also exists in Starship Troopers, but I'll get to that movie sometime in the future. Men in Black is a fun movie, and it really throws a lot of cool alien ideas out there. I'd say that most of them are really cool and well portrayed, but others are a little silly. I have no problem with tiny aliens, I think that's totally realistic, but I think it's a little weird that an alien that looks like a giant kraken can hide itself in a human-sized bag of skin, and it makes normal gestures and eye movements and stuff. Same thing with the Bug. The Bug kills a farmer shortly after he crashes on Earth, and he wears him like a, quote, Edgar suit. Edgar is shown to be an ill fit on the Bug, but it can still somehow fit inside his body and move his arms and legs around, and even his facial muscles and lungs in a way that allows him to functionally communicate with other humans. I don't even know how he learned English, but, that's not even touched on. It's just whatever, roll with it, who cares? But I just don't see how they can fit in the human body. This is a small gripe, but it is what it is. And I've always thought that gratuitous scale errors kind of put ripples in my suspension of disbelief. Men in Black also falls victim to a couple other tropes. Like, there's a lot of aliens that are just humans, basically, just with human names and maybe like some weird ability, like the sideways blinking guy or the head regenerating guy. I mean, for all intents and purposes, these guys had humanoid bodies. They were exactly like humans. And there's that age-old question, like, how the hell would all of these different aliens who exist at the same time in the universe all evolve the same morphologies? It's just ridiculous and a little silly. And a lot of science fiction movies do that. And, again, that's because we're humans and we have human actors, so it is what it is, but just kind of obnoxious. Overall, Men in Black is a great movie. I like the dark, macabre plot, so I'm going to give the plot a strong 9 out of 10. It's not a perfect plot, because even though it's feasible, I suppose, and it's pretty hardcore, it's not super complicated or nuanced. It's pretty straightforward. As for the movie's depiction of biology, I want to give it a high score, but a lot of it was a little out there. That's to be expected of a bigger blockbuster that doesn't take itself too seriously, and yet down the score goes. I give Men in Black an 8 out of 10, which isn't bad, for its depiction of biology. Now, if you haven't seen this movie yet, you should. I mean, it's pretty great, and I think it holds up pretty well, even though it's like 20 years old.